30 drivers, so we'll rattle through these as quickly as we possibly can. Harris Roberts leading the way then, pole position with Thomas Potter alongside Joshua Sullivan and Larry Price on row 2, Ethan Charles and George Ralston on row 3. Freddie Lyons and Amy Peacock, row 4, the top 10 completed by James Fabricius and Sam Hayes, with Bobby Pete and Ralphie Branscombe on row number 6. Row 7 sees Ayrton Rye alongside Isabella Stansmore-Wilson, with Lewis Hall and Harry Samuel behind. Jensen White and Stanley Clark share row 9. The top 20 completed by Alex Lynn and Tom Drake, with Max Williams, the winner of our B final, starting 21st, with Jack Collinson alongside Max Wheatley and Harris Alley on row 12. Then the grid completed by Jensen Mablethorpe, Mason Webster, Rio Warderley, Cameron Tipping, Alfie Forrester and Freddie. How's it go? Looks like we might have got through that just in time to see our start. We have. Wonderful. I've won the penultimate race of the day there.
Very, very true there, David. But yeah, 30 Honda Cadets, and as we saw at fullback, the battle between Roberts and Fabricius. Absolutely captivating. I know for a fact we are going to get a 10-minute plus 1 additional lap finale here to really round off round 2 before we head to Cumbria, to Rowra at the end of the month.
Absolutely. We're away and racing then. It looks like Thomas Potter's had a good start, and we know P2 is always strong because it gives you track position for this corner here, and he has got down the inside. We've got Ralston and Branscombe facing the wrong way, and another driver in there is facing the wrong way as well. Missed the number on that one. We'll try and pick it out in a few moments' time. Looks like Larry Price has moved up into 3rd place, with Sullivan dropping down into 4th, and Thomas Potter does indeed lead, but he's only going to lead for half a lap. Down the inside into Ashby's he goes, back into the lead. Harris Roberts on Thomas Potter. Will Potter try and stick it out round the outside? No, he can't. Roberts leading the way then at half lap distance on lap 1.
And at least a 5-kart train, maybe even make that, well, probably nigh on half the field going through the chicane there. This is what is called the big event. So the number 51.
Oh, it's Stanley Clark who we were speaking to earlier. Wrong way. Looks like that's down at Ozier's, the little flick back, as well as Harris Roberts. Sorry to cut you off there. We just picked out which driver it was facing the wrong way with Stanley Clark. But Harris Roberts ran slightly wide there on the opening lap, and it looks like Thomas Potter might try and take advantage. They're all going slightly defensive, but that's to be expected on the opening couple of laps as Stansmore-Wilson tries to get down the inside of Sam Hayes, and that's going to maybe compromise Hayes. In his X6, is going to give him a completely different line. Then down the hill they go towards Ashby's on lap 2 here. Amy Peacock goes wide over the rumble strips. It looks like they're all doing that just to sort of try and keep as much speed up as they can. And wide goes Freddie Lyons. James Fabricius is behind. He's going to try and take advantage. We saw him right at the front of the pack, although today he's had a retirement in one of the heats when his rear wheels were just not touching the tarmac because there was a bumper stuck under it.
Yeah, that just goes to show the highs and lows of racing and karting. And, you know, Isabella Stansmore-Wilson on the previous tour actually set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Bella down in, well, I was actually down in 10th, but she's now up to 9th because she's got past Sam Hayes. 2 minutes in then, 8 remaining, and the front 3 are starting to spread out ever so slightly as there's a move for Fabricius down the inside of Freddie Lyons. Thought he was actually going to get past Amy Peacock as well there. He was carrying so much speed as they head down then towards Ashby's. So Harris Roberts has started to move away. Thomas Potter as well. They've got a fairly comfortable gap. And then there's 2 drivers nose to tail in Price and Sullivan. Then 2 more drivers. And we've been saying this throughout the days, is that generally you see in sort of races, they go together, it splits up, then they go into pairs, and then when that pair starts battling, the pair behind join the back of it, and then you have a 4-kart battle again, and then it all bunches back up again. And you know, that is cadet racing for you, isn't it? Especially
when the gloves go off with 2 laps to go, as we saw at fullback. But yeah, Harris Roberts now extends to a lead of nearly 9/10 of a second over Thomas Potter. Bit of an interesting battle here. I think that's Isabella Stansmore-Wilson trying to go side by side with Ethan Charles, but we have got a change going to Christmas.
That's for P3. Joshua Sullivan moves through then on Larry Price for 3rd place, and that is going to bring Amy Peacock and James Fabricius back in. So this is what we're saying, Alex, about it being a pairs battle, and then when they decide to change places and sort themselves out, now we've got 4 karts on the screen in the space of around about 8 metres of track.
Yeah, you can't separate them even with an A4 sheet of paper there, David. But yeah, it's a case of they're going to now start jockeying for position. As you can see that up the inside, that's James Fabricius trying to go on the move past Amy Peacock, who defends, but at the top of the boot, Fabricius is through, and Freddie Lyons trying to get through as well.
There is, and that was once again, we're saying that's opened the gap up again, hasn't it? The two in front of him have moved away. There's Freddie Lyons trying to get alongside Amy Peacock. So as those two battle, the concertina effect, doesn't it, goes down. The train moves further and further down the field as Sullivan defends to the inside, parks that cart on the apex from Larry Price. Price is going to try and get the run. We know he's good down the hill here. We've seen a number of overtakes down the hill into Ashby's. And James Fabricius is there as well, right in the back, and that's not what you want to see for any driver. You don't want, if they had mirrors, the one thing they don't want to see in it is James Fabricius.
Because he'll be there, as they say, objects are closer than what they appear.
Absolutely, as Larry Price bounces over the curbs, and that's balked his exit ever so slightly, and he's had to close the door on James Fabricius into the boot complex. Price with a helmet tap. We know that doesn't work, Alex. They all love to do it, don't they? Our helmet tap, let's work together, but absolutely never, ever, ever does a racing driver listen to that one.
They never take any notice, because what they're doing, they've got tunnel vision. They're just looking at, can I get in front of the cart that's in front of me? As there's a new move there. Oh, nice work from Fabricius up the inside. That would have been on Larry Price for P4. Now he's got to go after Sullivan and then try and chase down Potter and Roberts. And Potter is about 2.1 seconds. Contact warning for Freddie Lyons in the number 83.
Fabricius is through. Is he for third place? There he is. And that's going to allow Larry Price back alongside Joshua Sullivan as they head down towards Oziers. Sullivan loses 2 places. Could be 3 here if Amy Peacock gets a good run. She's got track position. James Fabricius did what he does. Sullivan's going to get hung out to dry down here as they all get the brakes on. And now we're back to having about a 10-car battle. Stansmore Wilson's coming through as well. She's going to move up. This is going to see her up into at least 7th place. Sullivan drops 5 or 6 places through really no fault of his own. Fabricius came through, and everybody else in that line. This is Honda Cadet racing at its very best, is that if you get moved out of that line, it's very, very difficult to get back in it.
You're pretty much a sitting duck when that happens, because Harry Samuels just had a mechanical black flag. So that is going to unfortunately curtail that youngster's race with about 4 minutes and 10 seconds plus an additional lap to go. I mean, Isabella Stansmore Wilson had a bit of a disaster in the final at Fulbeck. She qualified through the B final, and now we're seeing a true pace from Bella, and she's going for it, and she's not giving up.
Oh, Freddie Lyons actually carries a little bit too much speed there and goes into the back of Amy Peacock, and that is going to allow Isabella Stansmore Wilson through. There's a bit of contact as well there from Joshua Sullivan as Stansmore Wilson tries to get stopped. Sullivan carries the speed through as well. Ethan Charles has come through, and Freddie Lyons, it's this turn to lose 3 or 4 places in there. Made that mistake at Oziers, and the train comes through.
Yeah, it's like the big barn doors on the farmhouse of royally being open for everyone, and you even fling the red carpet on that one. And there goes Amy Peacock up the inside of Larry Price through Christmas Corner. She's now up into P4.
This battle all the way down. See Sam Hayes as well now mixing it up inside the top 10. There's a contact warning there, unsurprisingly for Joshua Sullivan, for the contact into the back of Stansmore Wilson, where she got it stopped into the boot section and he carried the speed in. He's got a good run though, round into the Ozier complex of corners on the back of Stansmore Wilson. Larry Price in front of them, and Sullivan has got the run on Isabella Stansmore Wilson down into the left-hander of the boot. Can he get it stopped to prevent the cutback? Good driving there. She's going to come back down the inside. Stansmore Wilson back through. Fantastic driving from the two of them. Stansmore Wilson, though, showing that she is not going to be bowled over by any of this Honda Cadet grid.
Absolutely spellbinding from the young lady there, but Sullivan trying to go around the outside, coming through Crook, now going up the hill. Sullivan looking towards the outside, nearly opened the door for Ethan Charles there in the number 49, who rounds out the top 8. Freddie Lyons, Sam Hayes, and now Bobby Pete in the mix in the number 54, who rounds out the top 11.
Absolutely. This grid is the more they battle, they're all coming. Luckily, the top 11 have actually moved away because Harry Samuel is still running round in 12th places. Ethan Charles and Freddie Lyons. Charles down the inside. Lyons close the door. They're almost on the other side of the track. Get the brakes on. The train is coming through for the tail end of the field. Ethan Charles keeps the foot in and goes bouncing over the grass. But the two of them, the battle now in the top 8 has had 2 of its runners removed from that standing.
Unfortunately, exit stage right, I'm afraid, there, with that particular situation. But here is Amy Peacock just hanging on at the moment. She's doing a fantastic job, but here comes Stansmore Wilson, and Larry Price is the meat in the middle of the sandwich.
Yep, let's see Stansmore Wilson if they can get through. Here's the replay of this incident between Ethan Charles. Charles runs wide then. He is on the inside, so it wasn't an overtake. He was defending actually there. Freddie Lyons comes in, the door closes, 2 into 1 doesn't go. As Alex said, the exit staged right, and they almost opened the theatre doors at the same time, and they went out into the street. They went that so far wide. Stansmore Wilson then tries to get down the inside of Larry Price. It looks like actually Sam Hayes has got past Joshua Sullivan. That's why he's missing off the back of this train where he was before we went. And we've got one of, is that the 52 of Jensen Mablethorpe off the track.
Yeah, it's just really getting a bit heated now, but Isabella Stansmore Wilson is looking, well, shoulder nose there a little bit to Larry Price going into the approach into oblivion, as Amy Peacock running a little bit wide coming out of the crook, but this is probably going to open the door for both Price and Stansmore Wilson. Stansmore Wilson threading it up the inside and trying to keep it pinned around the outside. They're side by side, but Stansmore Wilson is through on Peacock, and so is Price.
And what this has done, we're saying it again, Sam Hayes has got back onto this battle now. There was only 3 of them in the shot now. Now there's 4. Sam Hayes is there. Amy Peacock tries to put half a nose down the inside of Isabella Stansmore Wilson. Stansmore Wilson sides to the inside, trying to get in, not only trying to get past Larry Price, but also to stop Amy Peacock getting track position. Peacock's going to try and go down the inside. We could almost be 3 wide into the boot. Ooh. The door closed very, very quickly, and Peacock had to stamp on the brakes hard there. So much so that Sam Hayes is coming through. What an opportunistic move from Sam Hayes. Black flags out for Harry Samuel because he's not obeying them mechanical flags that were out for him earlier that says he needs to come in. And now that rest of the pack is on, we've got 6 carts from almost 4th place all the way down to 9th here, battling it out as the time elapses. Last lap board will be out next time round.
Stansmore Wilson trying to put the pressure on Larry Price going down the hill in towards Ashby's. This is absolutely brilliant stuff. This is the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, and they are not disappointing. Stansmore Wilson nearly up the inside through the next left on Price, but has to back out of it as Peacock up the inside of Hayes nearly clashes sidewalls, and I think has just accidentally opened the door as the result of that. There's someone just behind. I think that might be Bobby Pete or Josh Sullivan there. It looks like Sullivan in the number 13. Bobby Pete is not hanging around either as Stansmore Wilson up the inside of Larry Price to take P4 as we go on to the last lap.
Here we go then, the top 3, they've bolted. The action is battling it out from P4 all the way down to P9 with Bobby Pete. The podium is pretty much set unless anybody has any mishaps on the last lap. Stansmore Wilson, Peacock is coming through on Sam Hayes. Great move down into Christmas corner. Now let's see whether that's balked Hayes as Larry Price tries to get back alongside Stansmore Wilson. Half a lap remaining for this battle for 4.
Yeah, and we are not too far away from finding out who is going to be our round 2 winner. Winning at fullback, it's the Welsh Wonder, the Hoonigans at it again.
Round the final corner then. Harris Roberts from pole position to the top step of the podium, wins the 2nd round of CKC. The podium then will be joined on. It looks like Larry Price is there. They're all side by side as they come to the final corner. We'll sort out the top 3 in a moment because who's going to get 4th, 5th, 6th and 6th? Stansmore Wilson, Peacock, Price, Hayes and Sullivan. 5 drivers there, split by 0.3 of a second over the line. Superb racing in Honda Cadet. Your podium though, Harris Roberts, Thomas Potter and James Fabricius.